hang on a second, I'm in Hollywood, I can do whatever I want. So I found these carpenters and knocked up some sort of weird, like, but because it was very good on Sherlock Holmes, you didn't have to redecorate much because it sort of fit into the Victorian Captain Nemo weirdness of that. The back wall really is, it's Bob Moog's first synthesizer, and use that stuff. I mean, it comes in really handy and belches at you and in a surprising way, and it's not digital and not well behaved, and we like a little bit of edge here or there.
I've heard that from many other people. Can we actually go to one of the walls or just?
Sure, absolutely. Come on. Well, right now you caught me in that period in between movies, where yes, we're actually, fairly silent. But if maybe just one or two things start going, but it's not going to make any fabulous noises right now.
Now admit, what you're doing right now actually doesn't do anything but make it look really cool.
It just makes it look really cool. That's exactly what I'm doing right now, because you've got a camera and, but, this, I grew up with technology. All musical instruments are technology, really. It doesn't matter if it's, a bit of wood that somebody carved into a violin and killed a cat to stick strings on. It's all technology. It's just, I happen to be born around a time when this sort of stuff came in, and I wasn't very good at my piano lessons, put it that way, but I was very good at computers, and that came out, and I started making music with computers and with synthesizers. And I really started out as a synth programmer for other composers. I worked for Michael Kamen and Stanley Myers and people like that.
So the things that are on the wall right now, for people who are...
Okay, all right. Okay, these things are oscillators, which you plug into filters, which, it's really what it does is a synthesizer, it can synthesizes out of the components that a sound is made out of. So you can, they used to tell you in the 70s and the 80s that, anything that's in your head you could synthesize. Well, it's not quite like that. There are limitations. And at the end of the day, you go to the piano, which is 600 years of technology, refined technology, and you play one note and it sounds fabulous, and it's a lot less of a struggle. But, I hear the world probably more than I see it, and for instance, on Sherlock, I was very much thinking about, it was a time before computers. It was the industrial age. There was a lot of huffing and puffing going on, and steam and stuff like that. I like creating these sort of sonic landscapes, and this stuff helps me. Plus, this stuff sort of helps me to think differently. There's something, very physical about moving, jack plugs around as opposed to sitting there with your mouse in front of a keyboard.
No, definitely. Can we look at what's on this wall over here?
Okay, this is it's sort of all more of the same, and it's plus, the old thing, those that die with the most toys win. And I bought a lot of this, people, there was a time, when everybody got into digital synthesis and, and people were just chucking this stuff away. Actually, this wall,
here, let's go look.
at one point, this is one of the great synthesizers, the Roland synthesizer, and through one way or the other, I found out that Roland had a warehouse full of this stuff, which they couldn't sell, and I phoned them up and I said, how much do you want for it? And they go, well, if you take everything, we'll sell it to you by the pound. Actually, it was the kilo, but, for $25 a kilo, which is ridiculous, because now, of course, you know how time catches up with things, and, now it's unaffordable.
So what year did you buy all this?
This was probably early 80s. It was just that transition period, where everybody went, no, it's got to be modern, it's got to be digital, that's the future, and let's just junk all the old stuff.
Can you, for yourself, obviously I might not be able to tell but can you hear the difference between all these different pieces of instrumentation?
Yes, I
that you
can.
have here?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I absolutely can. I'm a nerd. You can put on a record and I can go, oh, yeah, EMS VCS3. Oh, yes, okay, ARP 2600. Moog ladder filter. Yes, okay. I mean, it's a terrible thing to admit to. Like it just points to a wasted childhood. But
Yeah, but you're very good at your job, and I think that everyone who's exceptionally talented at their job knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
And has that.
well, yeah, and really honestly, I love this stuff. Knobs and buttons and stuff like this. It's all really good. And um, you know, look, I started my career out. I mean, the people who really gave me George Martin was one of the first people to give me a job. And the man had produced the Beatles. It was amazing hanging out with those guys and being able to ask them questions. How did you mic the drums, or etc. etc. And I come from a technological family, so there was never any great difference between music and technology. And I think the reason I went into music was because I didn't have to be in competition with my dad, who was a scientist, but it could have gone the other way. And so I feel very at home with this sort of stuff.
Well, what's also interesting is if we go over to the computers, I'm going to follow you.
Yeah.
The,
Don't fall. Right. Don't worry. It's not and at the same time, I mean, you got like, Austrian art up on the walls, and you got a lot of books, and
you can never go wrong with Vienna, one of the best
no,
cities on this
absolutely,
planet.
absolutely. And I ask myself, why such a small city with such a, diverse population could come up with so much art and culture.
Yeah,
And modern thought, modern philosophy. How come, this is so off the topic, but outside Vienna, in a small Austrian town, village, in the village school at one point, Ludwig Wittgenstein, our great philosopher, must have been playing on the schoolyard with Adolf Hitler. What's the possibility that two people who have influenced our world in such a dramatic way would be playing in the schoolyard in some little village? What's the chances of that?
well, Vienna also has a long, Austria has a long history with music, with
Absolutely,
culture.
absolutely.
There's obviously something in the water there.
Right. Something in the water, and they didn't really go and make anything else. It's like, look, it's like Hollywood. We don't really make anything here other than we're good at making movies, and we're probably very good at having too many lawyers as well. But, other than that, it's sort of a useless town. And I don't mean that in a totally derogatory way, only a slightly derogatory way.
Well,
And the sun shines.
yeah, the weather here is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's not knock that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I look around, I see all these keyboards, and I see a Mac, and I see this, the monitor,
Yeah.
and this Hewlett Packard, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and everything makes a horrible noise, or noise of one way or the other. This guy's obviously not doing anything.
how did you decide on the equipment? Oh, well, wait.
Just to scare the children.
How did you decide? Obviously, I'm sure you have your pick of which technology you want to use. How did you decide on the stuff that we're looking at right now?
A lot of it, we build a lot of our technology here, because the problem is the imagination is always a little ahead of the people who actually go and make things and sell it commercially. Like these touch screens, etc., are really, I was just thinking after a while, why am I doing everything with a mouse? Do things with a touch screen. I got all these fingers to do things with, and it's a very easy way of reconfiguring something.
Now, oh, sorry.